Welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Today, I have a few plays I see developing on the market, both in singles and slab form, depending on which route you want to take, that I think are at low enough price points that anyone can take advantage of, and that I think are very high probability, low risk plays. And so I'm not saying these are going to be the highest flyers. I'm not saying these are going to be the best investments out there, but if you are looking to kind of diversify or move into, different ways to kind of grow your collection at low cost, at high probabilities, I think these are all good plays. And they all focus on cards and slabs that are in the first block of Scarlet Violet era, about to go out of print here in a few months. And they all have, I would say, a reason to be collected. And so we'll get into exactly what I'm talking about in just a second. But before we do that, I do want to shout out today's video sponsor. Guys, it is Arizona TCG. But I want to shout out a couple of different things today. I don't know if many of you have seen their back end. This is how their back end looks. If any of you have sent your cards or items to other consignment services, sometimes it's on a wish and a prayer. You send it to them, you don't really hear much. All of a sudden, they say it's sold, you get paid. With Arizona TCG, you can track it the entire time. You can see when it arrived, when it's processing, when it's scheduled, when it's listed, when it ended, when you're awaiting payment, when the payment's complete. You can track how many items you have listed, what active listings dollar amount they're at, your lifetime revenue, your pending payout, what you're waiting on. And it keeps you a lot more informed, I would say, than most every other consignment service. And as always, guys, they have a great reputation, 100% positive feedback, 19,000 items sold, 4,000 followers. You're still going to get top dollar on your items. And all through October, guys, use the code NOMICS if you are going to send it in, NOMICS, and you will get 50% off your consignment fees, which is huge if you guys are sending anything in October. So the link to all that will be in the description below. Make sure to check out Arizona TCG, guys. All right, first one's up. I want to talk about the Meowscarada card. All right, so we're going to talk about Paldea Evolve first, the starters and the legendaries. So guys, I know the starters and the legendaries are not the hot topic of discussion. They're not the most popular cards in the set. However, Pokemon does obviously push them. You can find a lot of them in multiple sets, and obviously they're the main characters in the game, things like that. Not only that, a lot of these are very low value compared to other sets, compared to the fact that Paldea Evolved is the most expensive box in the entire era. Will it always be that way? We're not here to discuss that today. Right now, it is the most expensive box in the era. It is going out of print in 6 months, and the packs are getting more and more expensive. The pull rates are not easy. Yes, they're easy per, any SIR, but for a specific SIR, they're not easy because there's so many SIRs in the set. And the gem rates on a lot of these are like 50%. And so when you look at the raw copy, it's going for about $20, okay? When you look at the gem mint 10, it is about $120 in the market. Now, understand this. PSA grading costs have went up. It basically costs you with shipping, grading fees, shipping there, shipping back, roughly, I don't know, $25 a card to get your cards graded. So $25 plus, 20, 25, whatever it is to get the raw card, you're already looking at $45, $50, and that's not even guaranteeing you a 10. So, this is Skeletor. So you're basically paying a little more than double what it's going to cost you to grade yourself to get the guaranteed 10 at this point, which seems like a good deal to me, especially for a starter. Skeletor is the other big starter. It's the fire type. 115, 120, same type of thing. Raw copies are 25. So again, PSA 10 probably going to cost you $50, or PSA graded going to cost you $50 to do it yourself, and you're not even guaranteed a 10, where in this one you are. I don't know. I think eventually when it does go out of print, people are going to pay more attention to this, and I could see these going up. I just don't see them going very far down from here. They're kind of at their lows, which makes them high probability plays with very low possibility of major losses, which I like. Again, it doesn't have to be the best performer. It just has to be a safer play that you can move into without fear of heavy losses, with pretty good possibilities of rising in value. Now, the other starter is the Quaquaval. It's not very popular. That's why it is so much less. It's about $80. The raw copy is like, I don't know, less than $10. It's not really one I recommend. But again, if you're looking for a cheap option, these are out there as well. Now, the legendaries. The Chi-Yu. Most popular legendary, still around $160 for the PSA 10. And the raw card is about $35 for the Chi-Yu. Same type of thing, guys. I think the legendaries are going to continue to be a thing. They put these in multiple sets as the main hits. I think it's in Paldea Fates as like the green hyper rare. But $35 again, plus PSA grading. Was it 60 to grade it? You can get a guaranteed PSA 10, guaranteed PSA for 160. The Chi and Pao. This one seems like the most underpriced out of all the ones I've shown so far. It's literally, at auction, I think they're ending around 100. Buy it now, they're like 110, 115. The card itself is a $20 plus card. So I don't know. I think this card is more popular than it is. Just my thoughts. These are all just my thoughts, guys. Take it for what you will. The Wo-Chien, not as popular. Definitely going to be a lot cheaper in a 10. You can find it for $70 right now. The raw copy is like all the way down around $10. And the Ting Lu is just not popular at all. I don't know why. Great looking card in my opinion. It's only $70 for a 10. The raw copy's under $10. Again, these just seem like very high percentage plays, meaning you have a high percentage to actually, gain value over time. Very, very low percentage to ever drop in value. And so it may not be one of the high flyers, like one of the big risks you're taking with some of these newer sets with these high flying cards. But these are plays you could move into without having to worry every day if it's going to go down, where you still have a pretty good idea if this is going to go up. Honestly, you have to ask yourself, yeah, it's not going to go to $100, but could I see this card being worth $15, $20 someday? Probably, right? Probably. Same thing with a lot of these. So those are kind of the Paldea starters and legendaries I wanted to go over. Now, here's one of my big ones I want to talk about. I really believe in this card. The Goldango. Hear me out. When you look at Paradox Rift in general, okay, we're going to pull up Paradox Rift the set. We are going to sort by the cards. It is the 6th best hit in the set. Here's one thing I really want you to pay attention to. Look at the Garchomp, okay? The Garchomp is selling for not exponentially more, but more than it. The Goldango Raw is under $30, okay? The Garchomp Raw is about $34, $35. So it's selling for about 10, 15% more, all right? The Garchomp is going for $230 in a PSA 10, but the Goldango's in the 150s, 160s, all right? Now, when we look at one of these, right, we click on one to look at the pop report, 1,131 out of 2,900 graded. Guys, that's eerily close to a third. Little more than a third of them are getting 10s. When we look at the Garchomp, okay, 1,600 out of 4,700. So, again, right around a third. So, they have relatively the same gem rates. They're relatively the same popularity in the set. However, the Garchomp is selling in a PSA 10 for in the 230s, while the Goldango's all the way back in the 150s, 160s. And the raw copies are about the same. The gem rates are the same. I don't know. It seems undervalued to me, but that's one of my major picks right now is this Goldango from Paradox Rift. Also, again, Paradox Rift in general. If we go look at the sealed products, I mean the boxes are very expensive. They are still flirting with $300, up in the 280s, 285 range, something like that. Packs are getting more expensive by the day. And when they go out of print, it's only going to get more. I can't see these cards really coming down at this point, especially with how scarce they are on the market. And then the last thing, a couple I wanted to mention, the Giovanni's Charisma from 151. I think this is one of the most undervalued cards in the era right now in this set. It's $15 raw. It's even, a little less than $15 raw. I didn't pull it up, I don't think. Let me pull it up real quick. Giovanni's Charisma. If we look at it on the market in a PSA 10, lowest list right now, you're looking, that's a Japanese, 140s, 150s a card. Has a pretty high multiple in a 10 when you look at the raw copy. However, when we look at the gem rate, it's extremely hard. 2,853 out of 10,300 graded. Almost a fourth. That's in the 20-something percentile get 10s. So it is a difficult card to grade. But it's just a beautiful card. It's the lowest price SIR. All the other cards in 151 have been going to the moon. Charizard's up in the $1,300 range. The Blastoise, Venusaur, the Zapdos, Alakazam, they've all been running. They're all $400, $500, $600 PSA 10 plus now. And the Giovanni Charisma really isn't doing much. And so I still like this card. I think it has especially 151 packs. Guys, a 151 booster pack. Look at this. This is the crazy part. A 151 booster pack in and of itself. Let's go ahead and sort by best match. Can we find one very quickly? No, we cannot. What am I missing here? All right, 151 booster pack is more than a Giovanni's Charisma. It is not easy to hit a special illustration rare. You have to pay more for one pack than it costs for a Giovanni's Charisma. That doesn't make sense in my opinion. That card is undervalued. Last one I wanted to mention was the Iono. Guys, this Iono is still flirting with around $100 in a PSA 10. The raw copy's $30. Again, with grading fee, you're paying at least $50, $55 to get any grade. It doesn't have to be a 10. And so you're paying less than double to get the guaranteed 10. When we look at the pop report, 3,200 out of 67, it's under a 50% population. It's one of the big hits in Paladin and Fates, and we can do the same thing for Paladin and Fates we just did with 151. We can go look at the booster packs. Booster pack Paladin and Fates, $14. So basically 2 of these booster packs is the same price almost as 1 Iono. You're not going to pull an SIR out of Paladin and Fates out of 2 packs on average, right? And so again, I just think these sets have ran so much that the packs and the sealed product have become so expensive and the cards have not kept up with it. I think a lot of these, lower price Paladin and Fates 151 cards, they're probably undervalued, and I think they're very low risk plays moving in. I think that Gold Dingo is a good pickup, and I think some of these higher dollar, maybe like the Meowscarada Skeletors, the Chi and Pao, maybe even that Ting Lu, I think some of these deserve a second look if you guys are looking to pick up some singles or slabs and want some high probability, low risk plays. So, those are some things to think about, guys. I like making videos like this sometime, kind of speculating on some of the cards right now that are, underappreciated on the market. But as always, guys, I don't push these very often, but if you guys are going shopping and you are going to buy anything, please use the affiliate links in the description in the comment section. I have an eBay one, I have a TCG Player one. It helps the channel. It literally costs you nothing. The TCG Player or eBay, they reward me for sending customers. But again, if you're not planning on buying, don't go out and buy. I never push anyone to go buy, but if you are anyway, appreciate the support. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be back in a new one soon. I'm out.